Welcome back to Anxiety Makes Me Poop. I have a super cute story for you. I have a neighbor that has 3 or 4 dogs, and they are absolutely adorable. But there is one dog that they let her go out on her own. I think maybe she's got a past, right? Like they adopted her, and I don't know what she's mixed with, but she is the cutest thing. And to look at her, you would think vicious. You know, she just has that big head and just like serious look to her. I don't know how else to explain it, but the other dogs have these cutesy like lab faces or like the long noses, and they just look gentle. So the 3 of them go out and they play, and then she always goes out by herself. I'm sure there's a reason. I think my neighbor is like a trainer, you know, a dog trainer, or just, you know, loves pets and makes sure she does everything right for them. So I don't know the reason why she comes out by herself. Again, maybe it's, you know, her past. She comes out, and every single time she comes out, she barks towards our house. And if I don't come out and say hello by the fence and pet her and let her sniff me, my hands, or she sniffs my feet a lot, like my shoes, like where have you been? She will do this like bark echo thing. I can't even describe it. It's like a ruff ruff, like, hey, I'm out here. You need to come out and say hello. And so when I'm home, and when I hear her, I walk out there. So now it's a habit. Like she runs to the fence, she barks. If I hear her, I go out there. And now I'm recording right now and I can hear her barking. And I'm like, I should probably put this on pause and go say hi to her. But I'll see her later this afternoon. But it's just so cute. I believe her name is Ella. And it just makes my day. I just love it. And we've created this habit where, you know, if I hear her, I'm out there. But then we were gone for a week on vacation. I'm like, oh, I wonder what Ella's doing. She thinks I left her. But anyways, oh, so cute. Okay, so welcome back to Anxiety Makes Me Poop. This is Meredith. Later on in the week on The Clopen Effect, a funny retail podcast, we're going to have Brianna and Daisy and Cass. Oh, I'm so excited to talk about them. We're going to talk about vacation etiquette. I just got back from vacation and was able to observe about 3,500 people on a ship, a little tiny ship. Actually, it was a huge ship. So I got lots of stories. So if you feel like maybe just taking a break from anxiety and having a nice little laugh, that'll come out on Friday morning. So yeah, we'll talk to you over there too. But what I want to talk about today is something that I have touched on some of our other episodes, so we're a little bit more serious today. But it's why our brain blocks things out. And the short answer is sometimes it's protection, and maybe it's something else. So for me, like I said, I mentioned this before on some of our other episodes where I don't remember anything. I have years of grade school, high school, even a little bit after that are completely gone. I don't remember anything. I see pictures on social media. I get tagged in pictures and I'm like, I don't remember taking that picture. I don't remember that outfit. I don't remember how I was feeling, what I was doing, nothing. Completely blocked out. The reasoning is far beyond this episode, so that'll be another time. But what we are going to focus on is a little bit of science, psychology in the background. Now, again, I am not a professional. Please go talk with your therapist or a professional. This is what I have learned from my professionals, okay? And again, I only speak the truth of what happened to me. So you might have a completely different thing going on with you, right? But again, this is for all of us to relate, to feel like we're not alone. And some of the things that I share are what I have heard from the professionals that have helped me throughout my life. But you need to go find someone that's going to work for you, okay? Always with the disclaimers, I know, but still, listen. Why does the brain block things out? Sometimes it's protection, sometimes it's more, okay? Psychology doesn't say your brain is like, nope, deleting 2007 forever, she can't handle this. It's more like the brain saying, this is too overwhelming to process properly right now, so we're not going to store it clearly. It's fuzzy. It's going to go somewhere that we're forget about it, right? We're going to block that out. What is actually happening to the brain? When something stressful or chaotic is happening, the amygdala, which is the fear or emotion center, goes into overdrive. The hippocampus, which is our memory organizer, struggles or even shuts down. So that combo, which is what happened to me, can lead to fragmented memories, no memories, missing details, or entire chunks that never got stored correctly in the first place. Think of it like you're trying to save a file while maybe you have an older computer or your computer's overheating or it's glitching and it just doesn't save right or not at all. Like we've had that happen in like GarageBand and Adobe. Like I'll be clicking too many things because I do that sometimes. And all of a sudden it just won't save the right way. I'll close my laptop. I'll open it for the next day and I'm like, where did it go? Or it's just like fragmented. So, user error, of course, but that's what happens. It's kind of the same thing, when you're trying to save a file on a computer that just doesn't want to save it properly. That's what your brain does a little bit, okay? Let's talk about why you might have some missing years, some missing days, an episode of something. Right? My doctor always called it episodes, but we found out that it was years. It was like season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yikes, right? There isn't just one explanation to this. There are a few that professionals talk about. The big one that I think a lot of people know and have learned that this happens to them is disassociation. This is when things are so overwhelming your brain can kind of check out a little bit, right? You're physically there. I know I physically was at all these places, but mentally, maybe we're not fully present. And that messes with how memories are formed. This is super common in kids, especially, okay? Because they don't have the tools to properly process stress yet. And that is what happened to me. Okay, I was still growing, right? I didn't have the tools. So when things happened to me in grade school and high school, my body just went, yeah, no, we're going to disassociate from this. This is not good. And there's a reason for that. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. So number one is disassociation. Number 2 is poor memory encoding. Again, with the childhood, kids' brains are still developing. So kids' brains, I always say this, they're like sponges. I learned that from watching my kids grow up. They, we say little pictures have big ears, right? They will be sitting in the living room playing and you're thinking they're playing and they're not listening to a conversation. And guess what? They are soaking it all in. Their brains are like sponges. They are developing, they are still developing, they're growing, and they just soak everything in. But if life feels unpredictable, critical, or stressful, the brain ends up focusing on survival and not memory making, which is what happened to me. So memories do not get stored clearly or at all. So I have no memory, but I remember surviving. And the crazy and terrible thing is the things that I remember are all bad. So I have learned not to focus on my childhood. Again, totally different episode, but in grade school and high school, it was absolutely horrible for me. A lot of people that I've told that to go, really? You seem like you had it all together. Yeah, that's survival mode. I wasn't memory making at all. I was surviving. And number 3 is emotional overload. If something feels too intense, your brain prioritizes getting through it. Kind of, again, like the survival mode, right? It doesn't document it like a scrapbook memory, right? You're not going, oh, this is beautiful and da, 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 da. No, there's gaps, there's blurs, there's fuzziness, I know I was there, but I got nothing. I got no memory. Okay. Number 4 is avoidance. Whether you do this consciously or unconsciously, sometimes it's not that the memory is gone. It's just not accessible, which is mine. I cannot assess memories. I assess negative things and how I survived, which is probably why I'm doing Anxiety Makes Me Poop and wrote a book and all that fun stuff, because I want to share with people that they're not alone. But avoidance means you don't think about it, you don't revisit it, and so it just kind of fades or becomes harder to retrieve over time. To me, that's safety. I don't want to remember it. I don't want to remember all the negative things. I don't want to think about anything in my past. So I look to the future. and the present. I have learned to live in the present because I have this beautiful safe haven at home with my husband and kids and family and friends that it is the best life right now. And so I just really soak up those memories now. But ask me about childhood, ask me about grade school, high school years, nothing. I got nothing. All right, so number 4 is avoidance. I just avoid it all. Number 5 is dissociative amnesia. Now, this is less common, but it's real. And I did talk to a professional about this. In some cases, people genuinely cannot recall personal information tied to stress. So and there's even some tests out there. I believe it's from PubMed. So if you want to look into this more, because we're just going to briefly talk about this, even brain scans show that there's an increased control from the prefrontal cortex, and there's a decreased activity in memory areas like the hippocampus. So if you want to look more of that up and how that works and what the brain scans have shown in what's called dissociative amnesia, PubMed has a good article on that, okay? And I'm saying pub as in like P-U-B, med, okay? So this is what psychologists, or what mine, have agreed on, and some things that they might debate a little bit, okay? So here's the honest take. Yes, trauma and stress can mess with memory. Yes, people can have real gaps, but the idea of the brain perfectly burying memories and then later playing them back like a hidden movie is kind of controversial a little bit, okay? I had 2 different doctors, and I actually talked to them about this so that I could talk about this on this episode. Memory isn't a recording. It's kind of a reconstruction, okay? Some memories are incomplete, distorted, influenced over time, okay? You ever have 2 people that had the same experience, but then they go and talk about it, and it sounds like 2 different experiences? That's kind of what this is talking about. Memory isn't like a recording. It doesn't record it perfectly. It reconstructs what you remember and what your experience was. So 2 people at the same place might recall 2 different memories. Okay, so that's some of the things that maybe there is a debate on, and that there is an agreement on, that trauma and stress can mess with memory and people can have real gaps. But then there's a little bit of a debate of, do we bury the memories? Do they really go away? It's not a recording anyways. It's a reconstruction. So there's a couple things. So if you want to look that up, there is an article called Simply Psychology if you want to do more research on that, okay? I want to talk about the most important takeaway on this, which is what we always do. This part matters a little bit. So even if your memories, if you've gone through what I've gone through, if your memories are fuzzy, if they're missing, if you feel a little disconnected from what you think should be a memory, that does not mean that your experience wasn't real or impactful. The brain doesn't only store experiences as clear stories. It stores them as emotion, as body responses, as patterns like anxiety, people-pleasing, hyper-awareness. So you might not remember everything, but your nervous system absolutely does, and that's what you want to work on. How do I get myself better? How do I make myself feel better? How do I stop being that people-pleasing person, or the hyper-awareness, or the constant on edge, or the anxiety? That you may not want to remember the memory, and you may not want to work on that memory to find out, why did this happen to me? But you might want to work on your body responses so that you can improve for next time, or that you can feel better for next time, or that your emotions are different next time where you're not so hurt. Okay? I used to think that something was wrong with me because I couldn't remember whole chunks of my childhood. Okay? But there are literal photos of me doing things that I have zero memory of. But what I learned is my brain isn't built to record life perfectly. It's built to protect me. So maybe yours is the same. Sometimes that protection doesn't look like, I'm going to delete this memory. It looks like not storing them properly in the first place. So you may have some memories that you really enjoy or that you learned from. So or you may have something that's like, wow, I can't remember my life like other people can. Like I've heard stories. Like there's a couple of stories out there that my cousins and my aunts and my mom will tell me. And I don't remember doing them, but they think it's funny. And when we talk about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah. I don't remember it because I was in survival mode. And again, we are not broken. And of course, we are just touching the surface of all of this. Okay. So if you need to seek help or a therapist, if you want to just read up more on this, please do. We're just touching the surface of this. Okay. So I just want to remind you, you're not alone. You're not broken. Your brain just prioritized getting you through what it needed to get through. It's okay. If you can't remember certain things, it is okay. If you want to remember certain things, then go seek someone out that can help you with that. You know, go get hypnotized. No, I don't know about that. I've never gotten hypnotized before. Maybe don't do that. Well, I think the most important thing that I've learned in all of this is that your brain isn't working against you. It's always trying to help you survive in the best way that it knows how. Okay. So even if you don't remember every chapter of your life, you're still here. You're still growing. You're still learning. And you're still building a life that feels safer than maybe the one you came from. And that's the real healing. Not a perfect memory, but present life that finally feels like peace. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you next time.